Let's get to it. Sun Devil football. He's in his second season as the head coach for the Sun Devils. Kenny Dillingham joins us now. Coach, how you doing, buddy? What's happening?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
Good, man. I know it's recruiting time and all that. So, are you finding some momentum now that the Devils are heading into the Big 12?
I think we are. I think recruiting it happens years in advance now. If you're not recruiting a sophomore in high school, you're behind. So anytime you take over a program, you're really that first December you get there, the year you're hired isn't your class. The next year is your first class, but you're still behind in that class. It really is that third cycle, which is this upcoming cycle for us, where you've actually had the amount of time everybody else has had to recruit a kid. And, we're number one in the Big 12 right now in recruiting, whatever that means. I really don't know what it means. When we finish there, I really don't care. But it does show that people want to be here, and this is a place that's a destination, not a fallback.
Coach, how many people do you have managing the transfer portal? Because that's obviously in the mix of all this, right?
Yeah, we have 5 guys who specifically work in recruiting that are always managing the portal along with myself. And every person on our staff is watching guys that go in the portal. But I would say we have 2 guys that take the point for it, and then we have 5 guys who weed it out, and then it gets to the coaches from there.
So, Coach, do you get like an email or a text when somebody goes into it? I mean, does it work like that? Because it's it happens all the time.
It literally is a portal. It goes in to this database that gets updated, and then we have people watch all the guys that go into the database. And then when our guys watch a guy that goes into the database and thinks he's good enough, then it gets progressed up a level to one of those other 5 guys, and then it gets progressed up to the position coach, coordinator, or myself. So it's kind of like a funneling system once a kid enters the quote-unquote portal.
So after it's all said and done, Coach, is it easier for recruiting, harder for recruiting, since you have so many? You got to vet them all, obviously. You got the high school kids, the JUCO kids, you got the portal. Is it more work, or is it more of a streamlined scenario for you guys?
Yeah, it's definitely more work, just because you're signing more kids every year because more kids are leaving. In the past, you'd sign between 20 and 25 kids a year, maybe 18 to 25, depending on your roster. Now people are going to sign, 30 guys, 32 guys a year, 35 guys a year, maybe not 35, but you're going to at least sign 25 to 32, 33 a year minimum. So you're signing, whatever that is, 20%, 25% more kids or 20% more kids every year. So that's 20% more work. And then the time that you're actually signing those kids are normally the downtime. So normally you're not getting kids committed and adding kids to your roster right now. Well, now you are. Normally in December, signing days already happened. Well, December and Christmas break now is signing transfers. So the time you actually recruit transfers used to be your downtime, and now it's prime transfer time.
So, Coach, when do you sleep? I mean, 24/7 it seems like anymore.
Yeah, I mean, when I sleep, I'm out. But when I wake up, I'm up. Yeah. It's over. I wake up, go in the other room, whether it's 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and I'm up. There's nothing I can do about it at that point.
Coach, real quick, I'm so glad that you allowed ABC 15 behind the scenes a couple weeks ago. It was great. It was great television to see. A typical day for you. As a fan, it's very appreciative to you allowing the cameras to go behind the scenes. So I just wanted to say thanks, because I think it was great television.
Oh, of course. I mean, I got people here. We have nothing to hide. That's why media's at every practice. I mean, we got nothing to hide here. What we do here, I want people to see what we're doing, because we have nothing to hide. And if we had something to hide, it's not a play. We don't have any special plays. I wish we did. I wish there was a play that won games. There's not. There's players. So it's pretty simple.
Kenny, I want to follow up on the portal and recruiting. It's not going to happen next year or the year after. But do you see in the future of college football, if the portal stays the way that it is, that coaches will be recruiting more kids out of the portal than actually recruiting out of high school?
I don't see that. I see you have to take more portal kids during transition years of a staff because your kids are going to leave. So by default, you have to take more. But I think any program or most programs signing high school kids, building a culture, developing those kids, and then supplementing with kids from the portal is still going to be the way to go. Now, everybody has different opinions on that. That's just what I believe. There may be coaches that don't believe in that. But I would still say the focal point for people is going to be high school. Where it's really going to change is, I like to say, with the portal and the NIL, I really think the blue bloods, it's going to be harder to play as freshmen and play as sophomores at some of these blue blood programs because they have the access to go get proven collegiate football players to play over the freshmen. So I think what you may see is slowly over this time, as high school kids start to adjust to what's actually happening, you may see some of the high 4 stars, the 5 stars. You may see some of the high school kids choose to maybe not go to as many of the blue bloods and maybe go to other programs where they could play earlier in a program that can't just go get a NFL guy in the portal to come play over them at a young age because they want to play. So I do see us maybe being able to sign higher classes and get some really, really elite high school kids that want to get on the field early and know that they can't do that in the portal era at some of these other places.
Yeah, I think, Coach, that's the saving grace right there, that these young men, can come in and start playing as a freshman and sophomore and realize, look, the grass is never greener on the other side, right? But so they can start playing. To that standpoint, look, can we talk a little football? Like, how about your spring football drills? How'd that go this year as opposed to last year? Let's talk a little football on the field, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, we're way bigger. I mean, if anybody I think who came out to a practice or saw us, I mean, we're way bigger. It's not even a comparable team from a size perspective. We're a deeper football team. Last year we had no depth, and that showed up in the second half of games, and it showed up in the last 5 games of the season. Is we were down guys and we had no depth. I think this year we are bigger and we're deeper. And I think that's going to keep us in games longer. I think we're going to be able to run the football. I think we're going to be able to impact the passer with our front. And then I think at the skill positions, we have some length. And that was something we didn't have last year across the board. But this year at our safety and nickel spot, we have some length. And, length creates turnovers when you're on defense.
Kenny,
and we have length and we have ball skills.
Kenny, you were the OC, obviously, at Oregon in the Pac-12 before taking over at ASU. How devastated were you that the Pac-12 folded? And now, have you at least processed in your mind that you have made that transition into the Big 12 conference?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, born and raised here, I'm a Pac-12 guy. So that sucks, right? It's the history and what I grew up watching. But at the same token, for me as the head coach, not the fan that I once was, but the head coach here, to see the opportunity that ASU has going into a conference and where we sit regionally allows us now to go into Texas and recruit kids, still go into Cali and recruit the kids we've always recruited. So it really puts us in this really unique space from a recruiting standpoint to where we're fairly attractive to two of the best places to recruit in all of the country. And that's Texas because the conference we play in, but California because our proximity to them. So from a coach in me, I really think it's a good move for us, for the football team, and for the future. For the fan that grew up watching ball, it was sad to see it go. But college football is constantly changing. You just got to adapt at the times and
1 minute,
move and shake a little bit.
Coach, last one. Do you feel you're making some progress getting the alumni engaged?
I do. We've had more guys out this spring. We had the 96 team out. this spring. They spoke to the team, some of the guys. We're slowly getting people to understand that they're welcome at any practice, that they're welcome around the facility, that not only are they welcome, we want them around. I want our guys to see the past, to see what was here, to see what Arizona State football is. So I do think we're making headway. As much headway as I would like, no, to be honest. We're not where I want to be with the alumni and with those guys coming around and those guys feeling wanted. And I have to do a better job in that, educating people that I want guys around this program. So that's an area we got to continue to improve on.
Coach, thanks for some time today. Appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all having me. Go Devils.
That's the head coach, Sun Devils, Kenny Dillingham here on Rock Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910. Appreciate him joining us as we're coming to you live from Twin Peaks, Deer Valley. Next, if you haven't heard, Frank Vogel is out, Suns head